Did you know there's a plan on the table right now? A serious plan from a serious think tank that would give the government access to your NHS records to decide when you're allowed to retire. Not when you want to retire, when they decide you can. And the way they'd make that decision, they'd estimate when you're likely to die. I'm not winding you up. I'm going to show you exactly what's been proposed. And honestly, I want to know if you're as bothered about this as I am. So, a think tank called the Tony Blair Institute, yes, that Tony Blair, has put out a report proposing something they're calling a lifespan fund. The idea is this: instead of everyone getting a state pension at a fixed age, currently 67 for most of us, your retirement age would be personalised, set individually based on your health data. And where would they get that health data? Your NHS records. Now, they dress it up nicely. They'll call it a personalised retirement. They say it's fairer because if you're in poor health, you might get to retire earlier. Sounds reasonable, right? But here's where it gets a bit dystopian. The way the system would work, and I want you to really hear this, is that the DWP would use your medical records to calculate an estimated date of death. A number. Your number. And from that number, they'd work backwards to set your retirement age. A government department digging through your health history, telling you when you're likely to die, and using that to decide when you get your pension. Does anybody else feel deeply uncomfortable with that? Am I alone in that? And I'm not just some bloke having a rant on the internet, although fair enough, that's partly what this is. Steve Webb, former pension secretary, somebody actually knows this stuff inside and out, called this plan shockingly intrusive. He warned people could end up in a benefits tribunal having to prove they're going to die sooner than the government thinks in order to access their own pension earlier. Let that sink in for a second. You're 63, you've worked since you were 16, you've paid in your whole life, and now you're sitting in front of some panel arguing about when you're going to die, just to get what you're owed. That's not a dystopian novel. That's the actual proposal on the table. I'm 50. I've got 17 years until I can retire, or until I can claim the state pension anyway. If the goalposts don't move again, which they will, but that's another video. I'm ex-Navy. I've worked in manufacturing. I'm a council renter. I'm not, by any stretch, the person they imagine when they design these policies. And the idea that somewhere in a government database there's a file, my NHS records, and that file could one day be used to calculate my estimated date of death, and that date could then be used to tell me when I'm allowed to stop working, I find that genuinely terrifying. Not in a dramatic way, in a quiet, where is this all heading way? Because once that door is open, once the government can use your health data to set your retirement age, what else does that door lead to? Here's what really gets me though. This proposal doesn't exist in isolation. Right now, there's also a Labour think tank saying the triple lock should be scrapped because pensioners vote too much. There's HMRC locking people born in the early 70s out of their private pensions until they're 57. There's a new bill that gives the government powers to direct where your pension pot gets invested. All of this at once. It feels like, and tell me if I'm getting this wrong, it feels like ordinary working people who've paid in their whole lives are being treated as a problem to be managed, not citizens to be served. A problem, a liability, a drain. And I know that sounds bleak, but I think we need to look at it clearly. Because if you're not watching this stuff, if you're not aware of it, it catches you completely off guard in 15 years' time. So, what to do with all this? Because I don't just want to leave you feeling grim. That's not what this channel's about. Number one, check your national insurance record. Right now, today, go to HMRC website, log in with your government gateway and see where you stand. If you've got gaps, you can buy them back. The window for doing that cheaply is closing. Number two, if you have a private pension, know your access age. Depending on when you were born, that's either 55 or 57. That affects your plans. Number three, Stay awake to this stuff. That's all I ask. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. But being aware, being informed, means you're not blindsided. Because that's what they're counting on. That you won't notice. I noticed, and now so have you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Honestly, drop a comment. Are you bothered by the NHS records proposal? Does it feel like a step too far? Or do you think there's something in the personalised retirement idea? I'm genuinely curious. This channel works best as a conversation, not just me talking to the screen. Take care of yourselves. I'll speak to you on the next one. And whether you're on the road to retirement or at the end of it, just remember that you're not finished yet. Take care. Speak to you soon. I'm Andy. Bye-bye.